So all positives with the two of them together, but they are the negatives that you're looking at in who plays what role between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, there is a danger that it could kind of get each other's path, really. But I think even though he's only been there for 2 or 3 months prior to the lockdown, I think that Fernandes did enough to suggest that he should play where he wants to play. I think he was superb in those, I think, 8 or 9 games that he played. United didn't lose, and he gave the crowd a new belief. So I think in many ways he's become the main man, and Pogba won't like that. But I think Pogba has to fit in around Fernandes to make sure it can work. But then, when he was at Juventus, he played with some great players, and I think even with France as well, I think Pogba's better when he's playing with great players. So I don't think he'll take it as a slap in the face that he's having to kind of, take second billing to Fernandes. He'll see it as a positive that he's playing with a really good player now, and it can bring out the best of him.
Yeah, obviously the two of them have actually spoken really well about each other. Paul Pogba on a podcast, and then Bruno Fernandes on the club's official website. So you've just answered the question there. If there did have to be a bit of a star between them, it would be Bruno Fernandes then.
I think it has to be. And I think also when players talk so nicely of each other, you take it with a pinch of salt. I think it'd be much better if they were slagging each other off, wouldn't it, and saying that I don't like him and he's not worthy of place in the team. But we'll see what happens when the games start. But I do think that because if you have Fernandes and Pogba in the team, you've got to look ahead as well. You've got Rashford, you've got Martial, and you've got maybe one other player up front. So that's 4 attacking players. You can't have too many. You can't overload with 5 maybe. So it's all about protecting the back 4. And United defence has improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently, but still, if 4 of your players are out of the equation when you're defending, that's a big gap to fill. So I think one of them has to accept that he's going to have to do more work at the back and more defensive work, and I just can't see it being Pogba. I've seen it too often with Pogba. He played him in a defensive role under Mourinho. He just went missing. He was just not cut out for it. You might as well play him at centre half. He's not a defensive-minded player. So, play him to his strengths, and if Solskjaer can do that, I think he's got a formidable attacking midfield.
So Solskjaer happy to have Paul Pogba available again, would you say?
Absolutely, because despite the problems that Pogba can bring, and there have been a lot of distractions this season, he is a great player. He's a guy that helped France win the World Cup, and he was a big part of that. So with Pogba, you have to accept that there's a lot of baggage with him, shall we say, that he's not the perfect midfielder, but his qualities outweigh his negatives. It's just it's making sure that you can get those qualities to the fore, because if he has a bad day, he has a really bad day, Pogba, and that's the problem. When he has a bad day, you have to make sure you've got enough players behind him to cover for his lapses, really.
Many say he's a luxury player. Would you agree with that?
I think it's a luxury. Well, he has been a luxury player for this Man United team. I think in the top team, he's a great player. He's almost like the cherry on the cake, Paul Pogba. He's a player that you add to a team to take them to the next level. If you're a team that's struggling and needs a lot of players to put a shift in, he's not what you need. He's probably the right player at the wrong time for Man United, or he was, until they started turning things around. I think Pogba's a great player in a great team, which is why if he went to Real Madrid, he'd be a superstar. He's a superstar anyway, but he'd be a fantastic player at Real because he'd be surrounded by great players. At United, there's too much responsibility on him to do too many jobs, and I think to get the best of Pogba, you have to play into his strengths and surround him by better players. And at the moment, he's got the opportunity to play with Bruno Fernandes, and it'll get the best out of Pogba.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.